Thank you for clicking on this video. I hope you enjoy. And if you do, then don't forget to like and subscribe. Ring that notification bell so you stay up to date on further content. Yulan and welcome to Shallow Star. I trust that you are comfortable here aboard the USS Shallow Star and are ready to take a look at this beautiful updated Starship design. That's right, for this Starship visual review video we'll be taking a look at a ship that we've had for a while but has just recently had a wonderful update. This is the first of a little line of visual reviews as a result of this ship's new bundle being released, so I guess it's about time that I introduce to you guys the beautiful Akira class. Look at her! She's beautiful. I'm fangirling, but I can't help it. Ever since this starship appeared in First Contact, I have loved this starship. In fact, I like this starship more than I liked the Sovereign class at first. The Sovereign had to grow on me slightly. This one was instantaneous. Hello. It's about time Cryptic gave her a good update, and she is definitely a stunning ship. Before, she had some beautiful visual details and was quite close to screen accurate, but unfortunately the limited texturing that Cryptic had at the time meant that, well, she didn't quite pop. Now, now she's got all the finer glory added, but we'll get into that in a second. First things first, we're going to look at her customization, and it's great because they've now added the Akira skin type, as you can see. We'll have her out in space in the standard Akira skin, but looking over we can see that the Defiant is a slightly lighter version of the Akira skin. The Galaxy has some of the Galaxy's special mesh plating placed about, similar to what you might see with the Pert-Gen Vanity shield, or Pert-Gen shield Vanity, that we'll have a look at later. The Intrepid is definitely a lighter, bluer skin on the ship, of course. NX looks pretty damn rugged. The NX refit is not really fitting, but we can't complain. She's still a nice touch. And of course, the Sovereign aesthetic works well with this starship, but of course it does. They were introduced during a relatively similar period, with the Akira actually having almost a similar style to the Sovereign at first, but of course in the more prominent scenes with her, she was updated to have a more defiant look, this being what we see in Voyager. Happily, the Akira can be kit bashed out, if you're curious about it. Can be kit bashed with any of the other visual types, with the saucer, hull, nacelles and struts. These can be done between the Elita, the Armitage, the Thunderchild, the Zephyr, the Oscillo, and of course the Akira herself. She has no special bridge, but she does have the unique Akira windows. This to go along with the Galaxy windows that are also available for the ship. Not sure why the Galaxy were the ones added in, but I guess scaling works quite well. We then finally have the other window types that we have seen up to this point, and you may notice that the Type 1s work well on this ship. That's because the Type 1s are actually based on the newer, updated windows and escape pods. Personally though, I'm quite a fan of seeing the Akira's ones in there. I think the Akira update is just exactly what we needed. So here we are, out in the Dyson Sphere. Out of that customization screen we can see the ship better. Whew, and the cursor's here now. So what do we point to first? Let's point to the whole thing, that whole lovely hull on the ship. First thing I'm gonna quickly point out on is, again, you can see that she's a slightly darker hull than the Defiant class, which is nice, but what I really like is just how much texturing has been improved. You can see now It's no longer the old texture where it would have felt like if you ran your hand over it, you wouldn't feel much. It'd just be smooth surface. Now you can see and feel, actually feel by looking at the ship, its robustness and its toughness, the fact it's designed for battle. The bridge is well positioned, nicely between the two, I would say the two secondary hull segments, Alpha and Beta, as I like to jokingly call them. Behind the bridge, you can now see quite clearly its warp core ejection point, which is one of the things I've always questioned on the ship, is why is it there? For those that wondered if the warp core is back in its secondary pod, or no, that secondary pod is a war pod. That is nothing but torpedoes. Ironically, some extra detailing has been put there that will help out, but we'll talk about that in a second. So we've got the warp core ejection point, it's just behind. It's not dead centered, I've noticed. I'm not entirely sure it was dead centered either on the CGI model, so, or the physical model. So that's something to be said. Going underneath, you've got two similar points. Not entirely sure why those ones are there, but again, not one I'm going to really complain at. Then you go away from these moderate detailing points and we can get to the real finer detailing, the things that they've updated that I love. For example, the red pin stripping, and you've also got the hatch point stripping. Places where ships may land, little shuttles may land on the outer hull. And this is just locations where they can dock to perform external hull operations. You've got this armor plating at the front, in front of the bridge, and it's actually protective shield plating that's going on there, and it's why it extends similarly in different parts of the ship. It's all additional hull plating and refractive plating designed to prevent and disperse damage across the ship's hull plate. Back of the rear pylons, you can see this grid, sort of split gridding that's going on. I don't know what the means of that was. I know that is embedded into the hull rather than extended off like the rest of these grey plates are. But I've got to say, I love the finer detailing that comes with that. And moreover, the nacelles just look great now. They really show their true beauty and potential. The charger at the front near the facades, the detailing has just beautifully been improved. The warp coils is my favourite aspect, and you can see their line of sight beautifully now to each other. The rear points, you've got your venting points, now very clear, easy to see. Before it was just these grey flats, and they were flat. So it just looked like random grey plating on a flat surface. It's like, what? Now you can see that it's actually the robustness and the actual secondary armour level. The dark grey is the primary armour. The lighter grey that's over the top is the secondary reinforced armour to protect the nacelle from damage. Go around on the inside, you can actually see the warp charging vent. Now, the vent is a bit weird that you're seeing on these nacelles. Like I said, the 3 dots that you see in the back are there to vent plasma out. These warp charging vents are actually there so that the warp nacelles can be supercharged, and these huge vents would just force excess heat and basically the matter you don't want out of them at rapid speed to prevent the nacelles from overloading. One of the highest fine details that before now you couldn't really see what the point of them was. Now you can actually see the detailing, the venting that's going on them. We go towards the deflector, probably one of my more favourite sections on this ship. I've always liked the deflector of the Akira class because of its combination sovereign aesthetic, just blue, its embedded aesthetic, showing protective armour and actual fault to maintain the deflector shielding, and moreover, well, it's not round, but it's round. Do you get what I mean? It's one of those ones which shows that nice hold of Our deflectors are round, they're reinforced, they have more than one layer to them, and it's, you can feel that looking at this actual deflector. For once, STL up to this point has had a very bland texture over all deflectors, just one smooth texture with a bit of coloration change. Look at that improvement. I would love to see what Zeph Films can get looking at that deflector, because if I'm looking at right, it looks like it has actually got 3D detailing on that and a multi-layering detailing, so I would love to see that up nice, close and personal. What am I saying? If Zeph Films hasn't already done a cinematic of the update, I'm going to be blown away. Yes, I haven't unfortunately watched Zeph Films in a couple of days. I've been busy. It's been disappointing me. Now, to really focus though, one of the things that I really like about this ship's design is its weapon emplacements. The fact that this is a ready combat ship. Yeah, it doesn't have the Sovereign's Whale Arc launcher. Doesn't need to have it. She's a torpedo gunboat. She is armed brutally to the teeth. State-of-the-art phaser strip going completely around the front of the saucer. Beautiful aesthetic imprint because it fits perfectly with the ship's design. Doesn't stand out too much. Doesn't look out of place. Yet simultaneously giving the maximum arc of fire. And we know this level of phaser strip can fire from multiple points at the same time. It's a dangerous armament. Below, it's split in two because unfortunately part of the hull gets in the way of it, but it's still got practically the entire range of sight. In fact, it technically does. It can still reach both forward points fully to fire forwards. These are 3 powerful phaser strips. It then has its twin phase emitters at the front there. I'm not sure if those are cannon or beam emitters. I do believe in cannon for the Akira, these are supposed to only fire beams. The Akira does not have cannons mounted, but there's nothing stopping those from being quad pulse cannons. There might even be pulse beams. That is more than possibly an option. Go towards the back of the ship and you will see it's got some unique detailing with phaser strips. On top of the the torpedo pod, it has twin beams or twin strips at the back and twin strips underneath. And although the nacelles are all missing weapons, and therefore this doesn't look like it's heavily armed, does it? 4 weapons on the aft, 3 on the front. Beam strips? Oh no, it gets worse. Let's not even talk torpedo launcher yet. Let's talk high output omnidirectional beam points. I'm sure you've noticed them. You know the standard imprints you put around phaser strips. Anyone notice what looks very similar to them and mounted throughout the ship? There's a few of them. Underneath the secondary hull we have 2 nicely placed up just by the impulse engines. On the torpedo pod we have 1 at the front. This gives the ship even greater arc of fire and just as much output. It's just firing from a singular point, allowing the ship to really hit home hard. But it gets better, because then we can go to the torpedoes and it's insane. First of all, you may notice that these torpedo launchers almost appear to be round, and I remember Trek Yards commenting that perhaps they're rotary launchers. Now we did see from later detailing that yes, they cannot rotate. I mean, you can see right there that they can't rotate. Possibly there was the idea that they would be somewhat rotatory when they originally thought out. But what we are actually looking at is exactly what you think we're looking at. The Akira's photon launchers are rapid fire. They look amazing on this ship. Cryptic has just beautifully placed in each one to show its detailing the armaments and advancements that was made for the launchers. Instead of being a base texture, they've each got their own little, I want to say, cage lift off of the actual launcher itself. There is 4 firing forwards and 8 firing aft. But as if that wasn't enough, bearing in mind we just said 4 for forwards, we then have, yeah, not to make it too blooming powerful, right? Another 4 on the forward section. This ship has 8 launchers. I would suspect that the ones we're seeing on the saucer are photonic launchers, and just photonic. It would not surprise me if the ones on the mission pod are quantum launchers by STO's period. This ship is armed insanely to the teeth. It can deal a huge amount of damage when it wants to, and she looks the part to go along with it. I love this. And Cryptic has really basically made all the major aspects that we've just spoken about stand out so much better. Even the supercharger, well, I don't know if these are superchargers or what they're supposed to be. I know they're part of the power regulation system, but they've even made those stand out better on top of the ship. They almost feel out of place now. Half of me feels like they should have actually been put at the back near the warp coils, but hey, what am I talking about? They look great. I think my favourite aspect of the new design, though, is this United Federations of Planets pinstriping and emblem. It's just that little bit detailing that's been nicely improved. Talking about improvements, the impulse array. The impulse array was always it wasn't always a flat-ish texture, but it was flatter than it is now, certainly. I'm definitely liking the new colour they've added to it. At least the new colour with the Akira skin. I feel like it fits better. I love the detailing they put to the internal piece of metal that runs across the impulse array, and I really like the update on the primary impulse arrays you have on the saucer. It now feels, it's no longer a flat plane for that impulse array, it's slightly narrower to the saucer itself. You can finally see the actual energy venting grills that are on top of the impulse array, something you see in Eagle Moss models, but not really much else. The whole thing just looks brilliant. I would comment something on the hangar bays, but the hangar bays to me have always looked great. I don't know, that was the one bit of texture I always thought looked amazing. I do like how hangar bay 1 and 2 are sort of now embedded in a little bit. That's mostly what they've done with the texturings as well, isn't it? They've either embedded or raised certain elements. You definitely get a feel of the ship's size now from it, because they've updated the yellow striping just enough that you can actually tell how big a shuttlecraft is in comparison to the Akira. I'm sure there was something else I wanted to comment on. Oh, that was it. The one thing that doesn't work for me on this ship, and I feel like needed a little bit more thought put into it, is the escape pods. Now don't get me wrong, look at the escape pods, they look great. All around the saucer, they're absolutely amazing. Except, if you go to the back, and you see the escape pods that are there, suddenly there's an issue. I would say, go on guys, I'll give you 5 seconds to see if you spot the issue or figure out what it is. I know all of you have already noticed it. They're smaller. A lot smaller. Now, I do understand that there are two sized escape pods. You can actually semi-see that going on with the main escape pods. But if we take into account how many people are meant for one escape pod, and these are universal escape pods, right? The escape pods on this ship are the same as on the Sovereign. I'm not entirely sure why, when they build them to have a set number of people and a set amount of survival time and all that malarkey, they would build a smaller one and then an even smaller one. So that's my only gripe and issue. I guess that's not much of a gripe and issue though. So let's get on to the bit that I think a lot of you are really dying to see, and that's the Vanity Shield aesthetic. And of course, we can't get on the Vanity Shield aesthetic without doing a salute to the NHS and the rest of the medical workers out there. So the first one we are showing is the medical Vanity Shields. Well done to all medical workers, all key workers out there, keeping the planet going right now. I would say I salute you, but every country has a different salute, and I'll probably offend someone. Look at its magnificent look. The medical Akira class. I gotta say, looks good. White hull plating looks really lovely. Yellow grills. Oh! Because you got to pay attention to the high visibility. Red facades pop lovely. The blue's been turned to red in its areas. Deflector looks quite interesting. A little bit too smooth right now, but interesting. It's actually helped me note that there is actually a torpedo dumping module on the actual... Yeah, I forgot about that. So they've actually textured in now the torpedo dumping module for the torpedo pod. You see, if that pod becomes compromised, those torpedoes detonate and will take out the entire rear aft of the ship. So it actually has a module point so it can dump all its torpedoes at once. Also allows the ship to create a sort of a temporary minefield, but hey ho. I've got to say, this looks absolutely brilliant. Makes me wonder though, what did Cryptic do between the release of this and the Medical Vanity Shield? Because they bought us the Medical Vanity Shield. They must have already been working on this texture, so they would have had to make a variant of this texture for the Akira before its update, which would only be used for a couple of weeks, or a week. Way to go, Cryptic. Okay, next up. Borg Vanity Shield. Well, I've got to say, with the new texturing, this looks beastie. Definitely improved the whole plating. Definitely improved the deflector dish, actually. Definitely approve of the way the torpedo module and the impulse array looks. Would have changed the red glow that's on the hull there to blue just to fit in. Same for the facades. It's not a bad look. I like it. Feels rough. Next up, Discovery Vanity Shield. Now I've just been using this Vanity Shield a little bit more recently with certain Patreon. Not to you, dude, who created the Arrow class, and, well, I tried to make the Akira look like it. I may have found a better way of doing it, too. But no, look at this. Again, the red texturing probably should have been switched to blue. Or the red glow should have been switched to blue, but that red lighting effect doesn't really bother it too much. Impulse array looks interesting enough. It's nice that when they've updated the textures, they've put in the detailing so that all these plates... I know it initially already had these plates looking the same way, and all they've done is increase 3D texturing points. or to say surface texturing points. But I don't know, it's just the fact they put this extra detailing in, I'm actually really impressed with. And for once, we don't have the glitch, that's something I will point out, we don't have the glitch with the torpedo launchers that happened with this Vanity shield, where the torpedo launchers all suddenly go into this one same mesh colour, which is identical to the Impulse colour at the moment, and results in you not really being able to see where the torpedo launcher begins and it ends. Cryptic, great job on fixing that for this ship. Next up, Emperor's Vanity shield. Well, it looks pretty decent. Oh, take it back on the deflector. But I'm not gonna lie, I like the way she looks. I've just noticed there seems to be almost a beam emitter there on the actual torpedo pod that faces forwards. Well, that might just be me. Maybe it's just a sentry point. Don't know why I always like black hole texturings. Akira Vanity shields. Wow. Looks like the ship's been rusting a little bit there, and the deflector looks beaten up, but actually pretty cool. Weird. I definitely like the way the warp coils look. I can't say I'm a fan of the texturing, but I do approve of it. Looks very good. Great for someone who wants a steampunk feel to their ship. Okay, time for a really bad one. Kelvin Divergence Vanity shield. AKA the whole washed out. Any of you guys have the same issue I just had, where the second I took the hub off, the eye just shot to one location. Specifically the Impulse, not the Impulse, the Passard. Yeah, the Passards. Wow. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get that off your screen so you don't have to keep looking at that. Section 31 Vanity shield. See, that's okay. I mean, it's glowing red still, but it's shielded, it's plated, it's just been protected. Shut up. Also interesting to see that you got the technically drone attachment points. I don't know if you want to call them drone attachment points throughout the Starship hull, done in an odd fashion. I like the way the textures look though. I like how you've got the sort of ribbed, rough edged hull plate, and then all the plate parts that are lifted, they're smooth. It's just like, oh, okay, that looks nice. Yeah, this is definitely one I can get behind and approve of. Probably would be my Akira skin, if I'm honest. Well, if the Passards were still active. I'll show it just because some people still use it. The Aegis Vanity. Unfortunately, due to its out-of-date texturing, really doesn't work well with this ship. Oh, not in the slightest. It's one of those situations where being a bit old actually harms the Vanity shield. Assimilated regenerative shields. This is the Borg one. Looks pretty good as well. I do approve of the updating, or the meshing it uses to give you that assimilated feel. And if we take this one step further, yes, I do have it. 1, 2, and 3. Now for full assimilation states. What can I say? I actually approve of it quite a bit. It feels exactly how I'd expect an Akira to look if it was assimilated. And a little bit uncomfortable since I do like the ship so much. Oops, don't forget me to take that off as well. And the next up in the running is the Ri'shad Defense Covariant Shield Array. The ones that I did say would have a texturing probably similar to what the Galaxy class has on this ship. But I am wrong. It's not even there. Not where I thought it'd be. Okay. I first thought this was going to be a more pink and brown variant of the Galaxy's look, but it's definitely not. It looks, gives me the feeling of a very old Akira class. It's been heavily beaten up. Could do with a bit of a paint job. New lick of paint. Still well functional. I love the fact that the grey, you can see that there is actually some kind of 3D texture now on the deflector, because normally with the Bajoran you just get this grey plate, just a smooth grey, slightly grilled plate. But this has got some blue element over the top of it, and then a second level of blue lighting. It shows a bit of 3D-ness is going on there. That's definitely something to look at. I like that. I say, she's a good looking ship. Okay, next up in our guns, we look at the Counter Command Covariant Shields. Now, I was expecting this to look relatively good on the ship. I'm not sure about the nacelles, I probably would have swapped the colorations around a bit. But, okay, I would definitely swap the nacelles coloration around. But that's not a bad look. Gives me a feel of what you'd get if the Tal Shiar and Section 31 worked together to develop a ship. Oh god. Could you imagine that? That would be a little bit worrying. Deflector is nice looking. I think my favourite point on the ship is literally the forward section. Sorry, the upper half forward section is definitely my favourite area on the ship. It looks great. Next up, Delta Alliance Unimatrix Shield Array, which I didn't even click on because I'm an idiot. So we know about the gold/bronze trim you get from it, and the green grille lighting normally looks terrible in my personal opinion. That's just me though. Personally, looking at the ship right now, yeah, the deflector doesn't look so great thanks to that greening. It's just a thing I don't get over. I don't get over the green glow on the green aspects of the ship. Not because I don't like the fact it's green, but because the texturing just looks so odd. However, the whole plate looks absolutely amazing, and I love the gold trim. It's a great combination and looks stunning from that aspect. Next up, kind of fitting, Dyson Regenerative Shield Array. Well now, I've always liked the Dyson because it's sort of like a marble white whole plate. Which... Whoa, let's go back a second. Let's go back 2 winks. Sorry, guys. I can't help it. Oh, that's brilliant. What is even causing that? Oh my god. Just no. Oh, okay. That's the thing. That's the thing. So, Dyson texturing aside, I love the way. Jesus Christ, me, get your act together. Whew. I love the white marbling texture that comes with the Dyson Sphere Vanity look. The grey plate being left behind is great in my opinion because you can do so much with that, since I know that is a actual texture color that you can change with patterns on your ship. It would be nice to add sort of maybe purple to that or blue to it, make it white as well if you want to, and it would just really give another feel to this ship that I think fits well outside of that silliness that we just saw. Okay, let's not do that again, and we'll continue on with my least favorite shield, the Iconian. Okay, it's not actually my least favorite, my second to least favorite. Iconian Resistance Resilient Shields, and yes, I like the Kelvin more. Talk about proving my point. I know. Oh, the deflector actually looks quite good. I know there are aspects of this Vanity shield that people like, but I just can't get along with it. For me, the patterns just feel out of place on almost all ships, and unfortunately for me, again, feels out of place in this one, especially since the blue's been left behind. It just doesn't work together. You'd have to really think about the paint scheme you've used on the ship to go along with it. Okay, now we're getting annoying. Lucari Restoration Intuitive Regenerative Shield Array. Cryptic, please don't give us too many like that. I'm autistic, I stutter. Or I'm autistic and I have a stutter, and then I've got to say something like that. It's terrible. Woo! Let's have a look. What? Okay, I was actually expecting to not like it, but I do. Look at you, you've actually kind of cool. Isn't it very interesting? When I say cool, I don't mean cool, man. I mean cool as in it feels cool. It's got a very... Some things when you look at them, you get a warm feeling looking at it. This is one of those things that gives you a sort of cooler feeling looking at it. Like a gentle breeze is blowing past you. It's very nice. I'm not really sure how to describe it. Deflector's nice, and I do actually like the blue trim that's going on with it. The blue trim is not too overpowering. It's nice. I like it. Okay, Mako Resilient Shield Array. This is one of the ones that I've always had a thing for liking, just because it has a bit of chrome along with a standard texture. Works best with metallic looking holes, which the Akira isn't exactly metallic looking. For that you'd want Type 5 or something like that, or upgrade. But yeah, this looks kind of good. I like how the raised plating here on the hull is giving a chromic feel to it, a bit of a shiny metallic feel. The trim of the saucer actually has it too, which is nice. It's in just the right places that gives the ship a little bit of a more energized feel. Like the last one had this cool feeling to it. This one has an energized feeling, sort of zing going on to it. Again, I like it. Ooh, I like the deflector. Okay, Nukara Crystalline Resilient Shields, aka the Folian Shields, aka definitely one of my top. Don't like the facade. Love the warp grilling. Love all the rest of the texturing. Ooh. The only thing I will comment on is that the center of the saucer doesn't look as lifted anymore. And the deflector looks a little bit too bright. Still, I'm talking about metallic feelings, hull plating. This has got a very nice metallic feel to it. Romulan Advanced Prototype Variant Shield Array. Okay, if the ship was developed by the Romulans. Unfortunately, the impulse does not fit with this texturing anymore. Because of the green, the impulse to me should probably be like a bluish colour. I'm glad the deflector hasn't changed its look, and the rest of the ship does have a life to it. It just feels like the hotter colours don't really want to work with the green. Oh, back to this problem. Temporal Defense Intuitive Regen... Damn it! Temporal Defense Intuitive Regenerative Shield Array. Do you know, I'm just going to leave that starter in solid. It's staying in this time. I hate when I stutter, I'm so sorry. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section on this one, because I'm not lost for words, I'm just not sure the words I'm looking for. I mean, yeah, the nacelles look quite good. Oh, Temple has always been the rainbow thing, hasn't it? It's just a bit of a... It just feels weird in some ships. Oh, we're here. Terran Task Force Covariant Shield Array. Oh, yes! It's exactly what I wanted. And weirdly, the red glow on the facades works with the blue, because the blue is going blue to purple. So it's blue, purple, red. It's like, yeah. Hello. We're warm, we're aggressive, we're going to kill all of you people and enslave you. Nice to meet you. Terran Empire in a nutshell. Warp grilling, though, looks a little bit too... I was about to say a little bit too leveled out. I think the term I'm actually looking for is a little bit too orange juice. And not enough, just... there's the grilling. However, I really hope my recording could show this finer detailing right now. I will endeavour to upload this in a very high format as a result. That texturing on that is literally in front of us right now here on the whole play. It looks amazing right now. I think this is the first time I've seen in 4K. Haha! Yeah, sorry I don't upload in 4K. I can't. God, that looks good. To think, if I actually asked certain members of my family to try and see this, they'd actually have to put their glasses on. It actually looks really good. That is what I call fine detailing, though. A nice texture to be added. Okay, I show it anyway, because I always show the crappy ones. You guys got used to me by now, haven't you? Anyone who's watched me long enough knows, hey, he's about to get to it. Here comes the green one. We know what he's going to say. He's not going to want to say a thing. He hates it. He doesn't even need to see it to know he hates it. He's currently trying not to be sick. Why do I have such a hatred of this one? But again, it looks like trash. Get it off my screen. Get it off my screen. Get it off my screen. Get it to the Jem'Hadar. The Jem'Hadar are lovely. Jem'Hadar resilient shields. Oh, yes! Someone go get me Polaron weaponries. I have a new jelly bean. Shut up. Wow. Okay, I am really happy with the way this ship looks. Definitely got to be one of my favourite looks right now. Damn it! Why does my cinematics have to have these goddamn pain in the butt side to them? Still, definitely something I approve of. Finally, Riemann Advanced Prototype Covariant Shields, aka Let's Be Chrome. You either love it or you hate it. Personally, I tend to love them. Very rarely do I hate them. I will say it looks nice. There's definitely not too much hexing patterning going on, which is normally the thing that drives me to hate the Riemann one. In this case, it's very minimalistic and done just in the right spots. I could very much see myself flying with this skin. This or the Jem'Hadar, which is funny because the Jem'Hadar and the Riemann were the first two Vanity shield types I got. And for some reason, even to now, they are my favourites. Almost always my favourite. On this ship, it has not actually been my favourite, either of these two. That goes to the Terran Task Force. But this is quite nice looking, and I definitely approve. No. Leaving on the screen with this one. Oh, yes we are, because it's about right. Guys, what do you think? Me personally, I am very happy to see that this ship has had such a wonderful and beautiful update. All the textures that needed improving have been improved, the discrepancies have been fixed, and personally, I don't think Cryptic could have done a better job. It's actually quite a good melding as well, since they have found a good balance between the original model and the CGI, put them both together, and I think they've kept the best aspects of both as well, which is actually where I'm actually quite happy about that. If I'm going to score a Cryptic out of 10 right now, Cryptic, you get 10 out of 10 for the Akira. I'm just going to say it to you. And this sounds like I'm being a bit favoritist towards the Akira. But this is the point I want to make right now. I'm scoring Cryptic on their ability to replicate one of my absolute favourite ships, which means I've got a very critical eye with this ship. And I'm still going to give you 10 out of 10 Cryptic. Absolutely amazing job. Thank you for doing this, and thank you for making this the first ship to be part of the Ships of the Line bundle. If you guys are looking for a great looking ship, strongly recommend this one. That being said, guys, to my patrons and donors, I have to say a massive thank you to you guys for making this possible. Your support and your generosity actually makes these kind of videos possible for me to make. To those that watch the end of this video, those supporting me by watching through even my rambling, thank you for tolerating me. And remember, guys, stay safe and live long and prosper. Ciao for now. Engage.